Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Auntie Derek's Daytime Tea, where we discuss the latest celebrity tea in the news. I'm your host, Auntie Derek, and today is Thursday, August 21st. And with me, I have my lovely co host, I Chill. Hey, boo.
What's up, Auntie?
Oh, I am doing fabulous. And first, I want to give a birthday shout out to like one of my family's favorite aunts, my aunt Ida May, who is I think she'll probably kill me for telling her age, but she turned 86 today.
A blessing, baby.
I think she's either 86 or 87. I can't, but baby, if you were to see my Aunt Ida, honey, we call her a foxy lady. That is one good. I hope my 80 something is half as fabulous because if it is, I know I'll be all right. But
Well, go ahead.
yes, I was gonna say shout out to my auntie, honey. I wish you many, many, many more birthdays, and I love you dearly.
Oh, happy birthday, Foxy Ida May.
Yes. And also, I want to start off with some condolences to I don't know if you heard, Chill, but Felicia Richard and Debbie Allen, they lost their mom, Dr. Vivian Ayers, who passed away at 102
No.
years old.
102. Wow. I
Hmm.
hadn't heard.
Yep. So condolences to that family. I
Indeed.
understand she was like what had a nomination for a Pulitzer for her work. She was a renowned playwright, poet.
Oh yeah, she was that girl.
So, but 102, that is a blessing, honey.
Yes, it is.
Well, I think we have a lot of tea to get over. So let's just go ahead and jump right in.
All right, tea time.
Yes. Well, I always like to start with the latest Diddy news.
And there's
Child,
always some.
there's always some. He just loves to stay in the news, don't he? Well, him and his legal team. Well, this news is actually about the prosecution,
Hmm.
sans Maureen Coleman because we know she's been fired. But I have this TMZ article that tells us that the prosecution is pretty much telling the courts, Stop playing with me, please. Leave it alone, dude. Get it together." So I have this TMZ link here that you should see. Let me share my screen. Oh, sorry. Let me make sure it is being shown. What I'm showing is being shown. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right, so you should see where it says here, Diddy prosecutors, new trial my ass, and they ripped Mogul's request. They said, put that shit in the shredder, throw that shit away. We ain't got time for this. So federal prosecutors are calling BS on Diddy's attempt to throw out his conviction on Mann Act charges in his criminal case. Prosecutors from the Southern District of New York filed new legal docs Wednesday, torching Diddy's motion to get his conviction on 2 counts of the Mann Act overturned, or if not, getting a new trial. As you know, the Mann Act prohibits the transportation of individuals across state lines for the purposes of prostitution. Diddy's lawyers previously pointed out that he made $0 off prostitution and insists the Mann Act is usually designed for going after people running sex rings. They also say Diddy never had sex with the male sex workers and never directly arranged for arranged for their transportation, claiming he was merely a voyeur who enjoyed recording his ex-girlfriends having sex, which we talked about in the show, and we all thought that was egregious as hell. But in their filing, federal prosecutors say there was plenty of evidence to support the jury's Mann Act convictions, arguing Diddy was the mastermind of every aspect of his infamous freak-offs. They also attacked the notion Diddy just liked to watch, saying he fully participated by directing the sexual conduct between escorts and victims and masturbating throughout the sexual episode. Not only that, but the feds say Diddy's argument that he was more like a porn producer protected under the First Amendment doesn't hold water because many of the freak-offs were not recorded. And for those that were, Diddy often didn't give advance notice he'd be filming, and many of the participants didn't consent to the recordings. The government insists all of that made the freak offs a far cry from legal porn shoots. And they right. And then remember, we discussed here on we saw the jury's instructions. We know that, and we talked about our experiences with jury duty. We know that a jury has to unanimously agree on something before it goes forward. And we saw it with our own eyes that that jury convicting him of the Mann Act. They couldn't get him on other things, but they got him definitely up for transporting those sex workers across state lines. And
He
there
is
was
really trying it.
he trying it.
Ooh, child. I mean, his lawyers doing what they getting paid to do, but damn.
Child. They
Mm.
said, "Stop wasting our time, honey. Judge, tell him to leave us alone." But I mean, yeah, he got it, and his sentencing is coming up, so he gotta shoot. What's that? Like what we say all the time, reach for the moon and shoot for the moon and land him on the stars or something. I don't know.
I
He
mean,
trying it.
I can't blame him.
Yeah. Well, in other Diddy news, let me get this other link here. This is from All Hip Hop. So that attorney that we talked about, Ariel Mitchell, who was a part of his $100 million lawsuit for defamation, she's actually trying to get that like thrown. She like, take my name off that shit. I ain't got shit to do with it. So I have this all hip hop article. One sec. There we go. And you should see it's an exclusive with all hip hop. Lawyer tries to escape Diddy's $100 million wrath, says he cannot prove defamation. So Ariel Mitchell is asking a federal judge to dismiss Diddy's $100 million defamation lawsuit, arguing that her comments about the hip hop mogul were based on public allegations and were not made with actual malice. Mitchell's lawyer, Sean Metcalf, said the updated complaint fails to meet the legal threshold for defamation against the public figure. There is no allegation that Ms. Mitchell made any knowingly false statements, Metcalf wrote, adding that the claims were based on active litigation or police reports. Diddy filed the suit earlier this year, accusing Mitchell, attorney Courtney Burgess, and Nexstar Media Group, parent company of News Nation, of spreading false and damaging statements. The lawsuit was initially set at $50 million, but has since doubled to $100 million in alleged damages, citing severe reputational harm. Mitchell is accused of saying she had incriminating footage of Diddy during a media interview. She now says that the statement was taken out of context and was never presented as an exclusive revelation. Instead, she claims it reflected allegations already made by others in civil suits or criminal complaints. One of Diddy's most serious claims is that Mitchell bribed a witness. Her legal team argues that's a criminal accusation, not a civil matter, and says the complaint mischaracterizes unproven allegations as official findings by the Florida bar. Mitchell also disputes the attempt to connect her reputation to Nexstar and News Nation, saying the claims about her were not public until recently and have never been adjudicated in court. In the January 19th, 2025 follow up interview on News Nation, Mitchell and her client discussed a 2018 police report. She insists they did not fabricate any claims and were simply referencing existing legal documents. Mitchell's central defense hinges on the idea that repeating allegations from lawsuits or police records, especially in her role as a lawyer, does not amount to defamation. The statements were not made with actual malice, Metcalf stated, emphasizing that Diddy's complaint lacks evidence that she knowingly spread lies. Mitchell is seeking to be removed from the lawsuit entirely, maintaining that her legal commentary was protected speech. The court has not yet ruled on Mitchell's request to dismiss the case, which was amended by Diddy's legal team on August 19th. So I actually did not see her interview. There's a link to her interview. Hey, Beezus. There's actually a link to the News Nation interview, and I haven't watched it, but I mean, if she's saying that she's only repeating what was in police reports and public knowledge, like how you going to sit here and say it's defamation? I didn't knowingly spread any information about you. This was information that was already out there, and I just repeated it. But
True.
may maybe repeating the information and then maybe leading people on to believe that you have evidence or see or have a video or something that shows him doing something criminal, and you then say, oh well, that was taken out of context. I was talking about a previous video. Like yeah, I don't know.
What ruined his reputation was that video that
Yep.
came out. That's when he started losing, brand deals and so on. She ain't have nothing to do with that.
She sure did. So that's that on there. We'll see what comes of this. I don't she might have, because I just find it interesting that a lawyer has a lawyer. Her lawyer, her lawyer Sean Megan, like
Well, they
like you know
say
what?
You shouldn't
Or
defend yourself, and even if you're a lawyer, you should have a lawyer.
oh yeah, yep, that's that saying that they say in court, the person who represents themselves has a fool for a client.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so at least we know Ariel's not a fool.
Right. Be a fool to do it.
Well, hey, gorgeous. Well, did anybody want to add anything about Diddy or Ariel before we go to the next story?
He's really trying it out. He's spending a lot of money on lawyers, boy.
Hmm. Well, speaking of lawyers who cost a lot of money, honey, that Joe Tacopina, baby. You remember Wendy Williams said initially, she was like, my lawyer is very upset about what's been going on out there. And she's absolutely right to say that, honey, because he was actually talking on News Nation of all places with Ashley Banfield. So I have this link, another link from All Hip Hop. Let me get this here. And you all should see where it says here, Wendy Williams has less rights than a felon, says furious lawyer. And that furious lawyer is Joe Tacopina with his slick down hair, honey. You know what? What y'all not gonna do is play with Joe's hair gel money. He is going to he gonna fight for Wendy, honey. So Wendy Williams is once again at the center of controversy after her attorney accused her court-appointed guardian of leaking a confidential medical report to the press, claiming the former talk show host has less legal freedom than a convicted criminal. Attorney Joe Tacopina appeared on News Nation's Banfield and called out Williams's guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, for allegedly leaking a document that supports a diagnosis of frontotemporal dementia and aphasia. He said the report was never officially shared with Williams' legal team and questioned its authenticity. She has less rights than a convicted felon under probation, and that, to me, is the scariest part of this whole thing. It really, really is, Tacopina said during the interview. Williams, who's 61, has been under Morrissey's guardianship since May of 2022 after a New York court ruled she was medically unfit to manage her personal and financial affairs. The recent leak, reportedly published by People magazine, appears to reinforce the court's original decision. But Tacopina insists the report is misleading and possibly fabricated. Where is this report when no one's seen the report because it's not accurate? She hasn't completed her medical diagnosis, he said. The lawyer also raised concerns about a potential violation of federal privacy laws and the document was authentic, suggesting the leak could breach HIPAA regulations. He argued that the report was being used to manipulate public perception and justify the ongoing guardianship. It's not about medicine, it's about manipulation. It's a weapon being used by those who profit. I'll be quite blunt. Profit from keeping Wendy under this abusive guardianship situation, Tacopina said. I understand exactly what's going on. She has not completed her medical diagnosis. He directly accused Morrissey of being the source of the leak, stating, let's call a spade a spade. And I don't know why they have this blanked out, but anyway, he said, let's call a spade a spade. And I'm not afraid to accept responsibility for my words. Of course, it's Sabrina Morrissey. Of course, it's the Guardian. Who else would leak it? Who else would leak a finding that supports her position, you know? Despite the claims about her mental health, Williams was recently seen dining in New York City, appearing alert and engaged. So yeah, I mean he's right though. And then what he was saying, what else he said during the interview, he was like, show me the doctor who signed off on this. Let's put the doctor on stand because he don't want it with me during cross examination. I'm going to cross him and I'm going to get the truth out there.
Well, yeah, the
So,
leak is definitely suspect. I mean, and why doesn't he have a copy? He's a lawyer. If they got a copy, he should have one too. That's part of the discovery, right?
hmm
Yeah, it's something don't smell good.
well, we know that something is not Joe's hair because he keep that hair clean and slicked, honey. Fighting for Wendy's rights, honey, with that hair slicked back, honey. You know what? I live. I live. He really looks like somebody. Like if he looks like if he don't beat the case in court, that he's gonna meet you outside and beat your ass. Like that's what the energy he gives me.
Yeah, he
But
not playing. He not playing.
hmm but any man who was able to get ASAP Rocky off after what he did in broad daylight on camera, oh, you know he ain't to be fucked with. So that's that on that. Hey, favorite Taurus. Well, did anybody want to add anything about Wendy or Joe before we go to the next story? All right. Well, our next story. Let's talk about the reason that this show, Auntie Derek's Daytime Tea, exists. Brooke Hogan. Even though Hammy said I should stop saying that, I'm not going to stop saying that. I like Brooke. But I have this TMZ article here, and Brooke thinks there's something funny going on with her father's death, honey. Let me get that here. So you also see where it says here, Brooke Hogan says video will change the world's opinion on Hulk's death. Brooke Hogan says people need to wait for body cam footage from her dad's death to come out because she's heard it will totally change the story around his passing. The daughter of Hulk Hogan made the bombshell claims on her Instagram Wednesday, saying she's gotten legitimate calls from authorities in the know about her dad's death, that she needs to ask questions about body camera footage and the 911 tapes. Says since the media continues to twist the narrative. She says she's been told that the tapes could potentially shed enough light to change the narrative everyone has been hearing. She says these non pros are putting their careers on the line to getting her closer to the alleged truth. Brooke says she's still being frozen out by Hulk's widow, Sky Daly, saying she doesn't have access to any of the material she's been told to get. And the Freedom of Information Act requests aren't working either. Hogan says she still doesn't know if her dad's been cremated or not, though her brother says they still plan on doing an autopsy. However, Brooke Hogan makes it clear she won't ever share those results with the public. She also sheds doubt on the veracity of an autopsy, and she throws shades at Hulk's doctor here as well. Ultimately, she says she doesn't know anything more, and she's asking the media to stop reaching out to her. As we reported, an autopsy on Hulk's body is up to Scott, authorities told us, so neither Brooke nor Nick Hogan can ask the medical examiner to perform one. Brooks already expressed doubt that Hulk had leukemia, claiming she thinks doctors would have discovered such a diagnosis earlier. She's also unsure why Hulk's doctor signed off on his cause of death without an autopsy. Sounds like authorities may have earth shattering receipts, though it's unclear if we'll ever get to hear or see them. Mm-mm. I mean, out here looking like Linda in the comments. She do look just like her mama. But she might be onto something, honey. It's like, well, one, why would so chill? In your medical opinion or your professional opinion, is she right about the leukemia diagnosis? Is she saying like, is that something that they like? It does she is she right to doubt that? Like, isn't that something that they would have caught earlier, or can leukemia go on without being discovered?
It can if you're not going to the doctor. Most leukemias are diagnosed because your blood test is out of whack, way out of whack,
Mm,
and there's indications that you may have leukemia. So unless he wasn't going for regular physicals and lab draws, that's all it takes. It should have been caught.
mm. Okay, so with that information, so it sounds like I'm thinking that Brooke maybe has some cause to be like to have doubt, because yeah, and then why wouldn't you want an autopsy? Like if I don't know. Hey,
Didn't he die within 24 hours of being discovered? I mean, generally that's the law. The only person that can turn down an autopsy in those cases where it's mandated is if the coroner doesn't feel like it's necessary. They can turn it down, but even the family can't, you know, say no. You die at
okay.
home, or you die within 24 hours of them discovering, you in the hospital, or whatever. The coroner has a right to demand an autopsy or not.
That is good to know. Thank you. Okay.
Now that's the law in this state. I don't think it's different nationwide, but
Okay.
a lot of people die at home. People don't discover, old people, they don't discover them for a few days. Most likely the coroner's not gonna do an autopsy. No suspicious circumstances, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
But at the same time, do you think like it'll be different? Like, cause this would be like not a regular Joe, but this is somebody like Hulk Hogan. You,
Well, yeah, I would. I mean, like I say, it's up to the coroner. I don't know
hmm
his medical record if he had a history of whatever. You know, it's really up to the coroner, even if he's a celebrity.
gotcha. Well, shout out to my girl Brooke. And we have a question. Didn't the call for a heart attack? Oh, good question. I don't remember. I think it was a heart attack, wasn't it? I think it was reported that he died of a heart attack.
You're right, but no way you would know that if he died before he got to the hospital. I mean, if he died there, if he's still alive, you could see his EKG and everything. And he went to the
Mhm.
cath lab. They tried to save him. I mean, it's kind of obvious then. But if he died before any interventions could happen, how would they know that? They
Right.
wouldn't.
Well, does anybody want to add anything? Oh, let's see. Let me see. We have some comments. A late stage symptom of racism. Say that because they were working on him on the way to the ambulance. Ah, okay.
Yeah. See, he might not have been alive, even though they were working on him. And without any kind of EKG tracing or whatever, I can't see how they would say heart attack without doing a autopsy.
Oh, y'all hear that right? This is a retired health professional. So look, so it sounds like Brooke might be right, honey. She might say, look, some in the milk ain't clean.
I mean, your heart can stop for a myriad of reasons. It couldn't be your heart. You suffer some kind of disease, and of course, your heart is going to be affected. You may see that, but
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean it started there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So yeah, I personally, I mean, I would want an autopsy, but if the family has enough money and they pressure the coroner like he's dead, is it really going to matter? Is it going to change anything? Maybe the coroner won't do it. He's been dead a while though. To say he hasn't had it already,
Yeah. And then the
like,
fact that she and Nick don't know if he's been cremated or not, that's wild.
yeah, like what are they waiting for? You know, cremation wise, autopsy wise. I mean, has he's been dead for over 2 weeks, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a long time to wait for either procedure.
Well, does anybody want to add anything to about this autopsy before we go to another autopsy? All right, y'all. Well, this next autopsy I have, honey, about T Hood. Remember how we talked about him and we saw those videos of him beating on Kelsey Frost? And well, that autopsy is like is going in. They pretty much saying it is in line with self defense. So let me get this all hip hop link, and you all should see where it says here: T Hood's autopsy results released. Will Kirk and Rashida's kids be charged? So T Hood died from multiple gunshot wounds during a domestic altercation inside a Gwinnett County home where his girlfriend, Kelsey Frost, and her brother Kai Frost were present, according to newly released autopsy results. The report did not identify the shooter, but aligned with investigators' beliefs that the killing may have been in self defense. Kai Frost, the son of Kirk Frost and Rashida Frost, both known for their roles on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, was taken into custody following the incident but has not been formally charged. Police are still reviewing evidence and witness accounts. Authorities are weighing in whether to pursue charges against Kai, who was reportedly defending his sister during the dispute. Kelsey, who had been dating Hood, was also inside the home where I'm sorry, was also inside the home when the shooting occurred. Surveillance footage obtained by TMZ shows Hood pacing before lunging at Kelsey and attempted to choke her while she was lying on the bed using her phone. And that was one of the videos we watched here. T Hood allegedly pulled a gun during the altercation, prompting the gunfire that took his life. The violent encounter was not isolated. Sources told the outlet that similar incidents had happened earlier in that year. In March of 2025, Kelsey filed a police report accusing Hood of stealing her Mercedes Benz and laptop. In November of 2024, photos reportedly showed her with visible injuries. According to law enforcement, the case is being treated as a potential act of self-defense due to the documented pattern of alleged abuse. See, this is why you got to keep your hands to yourselves. This is exactly why you got to keep your hands to yourselves because even if you were completely innocent in this incident here, now because of your pattern of documented abuse, nobody will believe you. Y'all got to keep your hands to yourselves. What do y'all say? What the hey? You better go somewhere and beat your meat. Then hey, and his mama that tried to come out and say he was shot in the back. Remember that we talked about that. His mama was saying he was shot in the back 5 times. So how is it self defense, baby? If he pulled out a gun, listen, you pull out a gun on me, baby. Whatever happens after that is on you. So that I I hate he's gone. Really, I do. But hey, you when you do clownery, look, and don't go blow up people's cars, right? Child. So that's that on that. Does anybody want to add anything about T Hood or his autopsy before we go to the next story?
I could see how his mom would say the things she did. I mean, your child got killed, so she's probably, it's very emotional if she came out with that statement, but she wasn't there,
Hmm.
so saying he got shot in the back and then all the tapes start coming out, like, uh, your son wasn't a nice man, and I'm not saying he deserved to die for that, but yeah,
We have a comment saying abuse it in the dirt. Mhm.
yeah.
Well, if any of you were looking for Monique to stop talking about Tyler Perry or Oprah, you can go ahead and hang that up because she's going to continue to stay on their ass until she gets an apology.
Hang that
And
up
she
flat screen.
she said, hang it up. She was like, no, you hang it up. I'm gonna keep talking about it. And honestly, I don't blame her. But she tells T.S. Madison why. We actually have a clip. Let me get that for y'all here. I don't blame her. They gave Monique a really hard time and they blackballed her, literally. So I have this link from the root, and you all should see where it says here. Monique finally reveals the real reason why she's still going after Tyler Perry. Look, and Oprah too. So Monique isn't backing off of Tyler Perry for the wrong she alleged he did by her years ago. But now we know exactly why and what it will take for her to do so. As we previously told you, the issue between the two stars dates all the way back to 2009 when when the Precious actress refused to fly out to France for a non-contractually obligated appearance to promote the aforementioned film at the year's Cannes Film Festival. In light of her refusal, Perry, who was one of the executive producers of the film alongside Oprah Winfrey, labeled her as quote unquote difficult to work with and essentially blackballed her from the industry. In the years that followed, Monique saw a complete slowdown in jobs and subsequently called out Perry for the part he played in her career downfall. In one post to social media in particular, she posted an audio conversation of Perry admitting he did wrong by her and that he would eventually apologize. However, she is yet to receive that apology. Now, in a new interview with T.S. Madison for her Outlaws with T.S. Madison podcast, Monique is finally sharing the two things that will get her off of Tyler Perry's back: a public apology and financial restitution, explaining that Perry messed up 12 years of her career. She made it clear that she was going to keep pushing the issue until a resolve has been executed. And let me just go straight to the clip here.
One of the biggest entertainers in the world is Tyler Perry. And Tyler Perry told a lie on me. And that lie cost me 12 years of my career. 12. And I know that you work for that man. But as I told you before, and I'm going to say it again, until he fixes it, I will not stop because that's how the monster is created. We're too afraid, we're too scared, we're too fearful that you're going to take something from me. So I'm just not going to say anything. Harvey Weinstein is where? He's in jail. Now that's been going on for decades. But everybody said, let it go. Don't say nothing. Well, which allowed that man to do more damage to women over the decades. As long as I can help it, I'm saying, Tyler Perry, you will not do this to another as long as I can help it because you told a lie and you feel like you have the God complex. So I ain't got to fix it. Either you'll fix it in life or you'll be dealt with in death. It's totally up to you. But I'm not going nowhere. Oprah, I'm not going anywhere until y'all take accountability and fix it. Y'all messed with my livelihood, which messes with my family. Never would I do that to anyone. So until they fix it, I won't back down.
Well, let me ask you, what does fixing it look like to you?
You see what Lee Daniels did?
Hmm.
That man walked out on that stage publicly. See, you publicly shamed me. You publicly shamed me. So now you have to publicly fix it. Tyler Perry, you cost my family millions and millions and millions of dollars. And it is a beautiful thing when you tip somebody $3,000. It's a beautiful thing when you give somebody $400,000 because their house burned down. Those are good deeds. However, you know what you did to a Black woman named Monique. So all of that, the universe is watching and saying, okay, we see what you're trying to do, but you can't fool us. And I don't believe I'm the only one. Of course not. You don't do that to somebody and it be your first time. You don't because you're too comfortable in doing it. And when you get that God complex, the universe and everything, fixing it means you apologize publicly and you cost my family millions.
So it's you want to want. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Hmm.
I just deciphering. You want a public apology and you want restitution.
Yes. And I say that unapologetically. You are on tape saying what you did to me was wrong. You are on tape. That's your voice, Tyler Perry. You called us. We didn't call you. You said what he did to me was wrong, and he was going to fix it when his movie Boo came out. When did Boo come out? 2016. We are now in 2025, and you've not fixed that. You've not fixed it.
Ha- Listen, she made herself very clear. She didn't mince any words. And the thing about Monique, her story has never her story has been the exact same from the very beginning. She
Oh yeah,
said, so if you want me to get off your neck, apologize. And yeah, some financial restitution that'll be nice as well.
and they did
So,
say that about her. And I have to
mhm.
say, comments under this story, under this video, most people were not kind about it. Like, girl, you still talking about this? Let's move on. But see, it wasn't done to you. It's easy to say that when no one has wronged you in the way that they wronged her.
Mhm.
12 years of her career being derailed was a big deal. And I don't think she should let it go. I think she should keep talking about it until they acknowledge it. Those were two powerhouses even back then, especially Oprah. And to say that about her, it made a difference in her career. I really can't blame her for continuing to speak about it. And I was kind of disappointed in those comments.
Mhm. You know those most of them people are paid agents by Tyler Perry, hun, because you see how even now after them sexual assault allegations that came out, he still got that support and people in there. Oh well, you shouldn't have went to the house. This, child.
Yeah.
So go ahead, favorite Taurus.
I'm so happy to see Monique is still speaking out. I really, I love how she has the support to not allow public perception to sway her. Even private um, suggestions or private support sway her when those people are saying, you just need to let it go. I mm, Tyler Perry and Oprah have been well known to be some very problematic individuals who tend to operate in falsehoods in one capacity or another. This has been proven. This is not alleged. So
Hmm.
it's it's disappointing even after the tape came out because after she released that phone call on social media, I looked up, like, oh, Georgia's a one party state, so that means she had every right to record the conversation and post it without legal repercussion. So if we are privy to a private conversation that was not doctored by AI. This was, I think, it was before the boom of AI, if I remember correctly. Uh, and you still ain't do nothing. Wow. And I definitely agree that the universe is watching because we see the things that are happening publicly. Of course, we don't know privately things publicly that are occurring, especially with Tyler Perry, even
Mhm.
outside of the sexual misconduct with other men is and I definitely I'm a firm believer in reciprocity and karma in the universe as well. And the thing is, like usually when that happens, the things that actually come back to the person are well beyond what we can even fathom to want to do to them ourselves. And it's disappointing that he'd allowed his power and his money and his leverage to kind of believe that he is shielded when he is not. Also for Oprah Winfrey, she's I, you know, many things can be true at once, right?
Mhm.
Has she done great things for the world? Sure. Has she done okay things for the black community? Okay. However, it is still known that she has caused harm not only to Monique but to other famous black celebrities as well. I'm not sure if you
Mhm.
because if again if memory serves me correctly, she had Monique's mother, brother, and father on the show, knowing that they had a really tumultuous relationship, aka a really bad relationship. Because if you don't know, Monique's brother had assaulted her sexually as a child, and she did the low down dirty thing of bringing in Oprah, excuse me, her parents,
Wow. Yep.
knowing knowing
Mhm.
she don't fuck with them like that. On top
Wow.
of that, another thing, if you rest in peace to the late great Michael Jackson, after his death, she allowed three additional individuals to come forward with additional claims of sexual misconduct when they were children, all to find out all those claims were false. One of the accusers actually wrote his eulogy by the name of Wade Robson, the very famous choreographer from the early 2000s, wrote the eulogy and then came out years later and said, "Oh wait, you know what? I was assaulted too." Come to find out, he actually was bidding to choreograph that Cirque du Soleil show that is in celebration of Michael Jackson, but he didn't get the job. So his next best plan of action, since he was broke, was to go after the estate in an attempt to get money. All of this could have been this is very public and also could have been founded if she did or her team did an inkling of research, but she did not. Why? Because she wanted to cause harm. So these are some very, very nasty individuals, regardless of the public persona, and it's very unfortunate. And and again, landing the plane. I'm just glad that Monique. It appears that she's still leading the charge, not only for herself but for others to come forward as well. And it's never going to stop until they get whatever retribution is coming to them. Sorry for
Hmm.
them.
Not to
Oh
mention
hell.
she foisted that damn Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil on us. Apologize for that shit too, Oprah.
Okay. And shoot, don't ask Tony Braxton about no Oprah, honey, because Tony Braxton have stores of her own. So yeah, I agree with everything Will said, honey. You know, their time is coming, honey, because you know the one thing about a God complex, these people with them, they one day they realize that they're not gods. So
Right. I didn't know she did that with Monique's family though. That's
yes,
really,
honey.
especially in light of the abuse by her brother. Oh my God.
And then what she tried to position it, as she because Monique has told the story. She said Oprah pretty, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but Oprah tried to position it as if this was they wanted to get the brother help or something like that. But when the when the camera was on, it turned into something completely different, and it looked like her intervention and something, or Monique needs to be more forgiving or some shit like that. It was real wild. Oprah was a dirty dog for that one.
That she's really a problem. Oh
Mhm.
wow. Mm-mm. Yeah, you nasty, nasty heifer for that.
Yes. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
Which makes absolute perfect sense because one thing about I don't have the credentials to diagnose it, but someone who has narcissistic tendencies or someone who experiences extreme guilt, they will do anything in their power to get the light off of them if it's negative. And they will harm anyone, whatever it takes, in order for them to maintain a certain level of positive um, visibility in the world. And it never fails. But again, I don't have the credentials to diagnose.
Yeah, that's crazy. I remember the story with the people she had on after Michael's death. I remember that one, but I didn't see that other episode, and that's so nasty. But
Hmm.
people put you on that pedestal, and you start to believe it. And this is the problem with fandom. Her show became wildly successful, and she was a black woman who pulled herself up from the dirt and all of that. And yeah, then sometimes you do things just for the views and the clicks, like they say.
This is so I don't know. This is so random. But do y'all remember the movie Dirty Laundry? They had Rockman Dunbar and Loretta Devine. I don't know if y'all. It's like a.
Yes.
So do you remember in it when some more character? She was like, "Yeah, girl. Oprah says you're not supposed to eat after 8 o'clock." And then Loretta Devine was like, "Don't nobody want to hear nothing about no damn Oprah. Oprah don't even like fake flowers. How you gonna listen about don't even like fake flowers in their house?"
That is such a good movie.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. Mm-mm. And
Well, does anybody? Oh,
she's not above reproach at all. And I've seen a lot of pushback against her over the couple of years about her. Like everybody's not feeling her like that anymore. So yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing, and I'll leave this alone. The one thing that people who make these negative comments or just don't have a functioning frontal lobe and can't think of things objectively, as we see on the screen here, right? Monique is a black woman. She's a black actress operating in Hollywood. And many have come forward to express how there aren't many roles accessible to them or written for them that really align with how they can show up with integrity or roles at all. So people fail to realize the depth of which this has harmed her and also could harm her as well. Like this world, this country, it never fails. It never fails to show how much it disrespects and literally hates black women in some capacity, and it is so sad to me.
Yeah.
you better say that shit, honey.
Agree.
Well, does anybody want to add anything about Monique, Tyler, or Oprah before we go to the next story? Well, baby, this next story. Well, first off, shout out to Chill for sharing this story with me. Y'all, this story had both of us gagged, honey. So remember how yesterday we talked about a guy named Cornelius Smith who was on trial for killing young Dolph, and he went into detail expressing how well he did it because he was hired by Big Jook and on well he was hired by Hernandez Govan on behalf of Big Jook to carry out the hit. Baby, it turns out that Hernandez Govan was found not guilty. Honey, let me share this news I got here from WREG.com. It looks like a local news station in that area. But woo cha, I was gagged. So I'm happy to be free. Hernandez Govan found not guilty in Young Dolph murder. So Hernandez Govan, the alleged mastermind in rapper Young Dolph's murder, was found not guilty on all charges in court during day 4 of his trial Thursday morning. Govan spoke with WREG Crews after the verdict, thanking the jury, his family, and a few friends who stuck by him and knew that he was innocent and didn't shy away from him. Thank you to the jury for getting this right and getting my life back, Govan said. I knew in my heart I was innocent. Without God, I don't even think I would have made it this far. I'm just happy to be free. Court ended on day 3 with the jury adjourning after deliberations. The jury is expected to resume until a verdict is reached on Wednesday. Oh wait, is this another story? Hold on, let me make sure because I don't want to. Okay, on
Yeah,
Wednesday, state prosecutors. Sorry, what would you say, honey?
they look like they're talking about before the verdict, like what happened.
Oh, yep, yep. That's what it looks like. So,
Hmm.
child, because this story is fresh, honey. Oh, I am gagged. That's Mr. Govan right there, honey. I'm just
Well,
saying, y'all.
street justice is still a thing. I mean, that's how it rocks in that world. So just because the court found you innocent, just like people get gunned down all the time. Um, I'm not saying this should happen. I wish it would happen or anything like that. But yeah, that street justice is still a thing.
Yes, indeed. I'm just shocked because remember, we read that thing in detail yesterday, and Mr. Smith, Cornelius Smith, detailed it like he's taught from the rooter to the tutor, telling us how it was set up, how they met, and everything. And for him, for the well, like we were saying earlier before I started recording, the jury couldn't find them. They couldn't prove it, so they had to find him not guilty.
We have a comment.
Oh, so a comment says, "Not Yolanda going to outlive him." Damn.
She might.
Honestly. Well, child, does anybody want to add anything else before we go? I'm still gagged. I still because I'm actually still processing this. So,
Yeah, that's
but
wild. He should be scared. I know that. He should still be scared. I would be.
yep, same here. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
I'm surprised that well, I'm not too familiar with this story, so I'm only going off of what was shared with what you're sharing, Auntie. However, I'm surprised that there wasn't a suggestion for him to go in some sort of protective custody or like have his name changed and move someplace else for his own safety. It's odd that they would do that. Oh, but he's also of a certain demographic, so they really don't give a fuck like that. But I'm just really
Hmm.
surprised that that wasn't part of the stipulations for him remaining free or getting free, or however you want to say it.
Child, quiet as kept, honey. I don't think his bald headed ass needed. If you could sit there and literally take a hit out on somebody and get off, I wouldn't fuck with him. Mm-mm. I would stay on this man's good size. Would you like a refill on your coffee, Mr. Gavon? An extra donut? Honey, I'm doing everything I can to say because clearly, I'm sorry, I'm still gagged, y'all. This is still blowing my mind right now.
Well, to be fair, on to based by what we're saying, he don't have a good side.
Oh! So my favorite Taurus's opinions do not reflect the opinions of Auntie Derek Desante.
Right. Even the best gangsters is 6 feet. Got to put 6 feet under, so uh, anybody can fall. That's all I got to say is he he just better watch his back. There's
Yep.
already been one revenge killing already for Dolph. So
Yes, indeed. Well, does anybody want to add anything else for we go to this next crazy story, honey? Well, this next crazy story. Now we about to get into some white people news, y'all, but I promise it's gonna be juicy. Well, this first one though, y'all know Brian Koberger, that crazy motherfucker who stabbed
uh,
those four students to death, honey.
yes,
He got a nerve. It's not funny, but it's like I just find it really hard to feel sorry for you.
he been
But
in
y'all should see I
prison
have this
3 minutes. 3 minutes, and
3 minutes,
all.
honey, and them niggas in prison, they already want that ass, honey. They say, "Come here, bring that dick here." So, Brian Koberger requests cell block transfer, claims inmates taunting him with sexual harassment. Mm-mm. So, Brian Koberger says prison life is already a nightmare, claiming inmates won't stop hurling threats and crude sexual taunts his way. And now he's begging for a transfer. In a handwritten note, the convicted killer pleaded with officials to get him out of Idaho Maximum Security Institution's J Block just a day after being transferred there on July 29th. People was the first to report on the July 30th note. And first of all, look at that handwriting, hun. Why his handwriting like a kindergartner's? Man, look at how he
One,
writes his name.
one day they giving him hell. One day he been there.
Yes, honey. Koberger insists in the note he's not part of any recent chaos, citing flooding, striking, but claims he's getting slammed with minute by minute threats and harassment, saying he wants out of J Block ASAP. A few days later, he reportedly slipped a guard another note claiming inmates were screaming graphic sexual taunts at him, including I'll beat fuck you, or I don't know what the B stands for, but or I'll whatever fuck you, and the only ass we'll be eating is Kohlburgers.
Think about it.
Ah,
What the B stands for? Excuse me. B
I-
U.
oh yes, I'll butt fuck you. Okay,
Yeah,
yes, well that makes a lot of sense. Okay,
yeah.
so yes, and then the only ass we'll be eating is Kohlburgers. Mm-mm. So a guard's depiction of the incident reportedly confirms inmates were spewing nasty language, but the guards couldn't say who mouthed off. Still, despite his complaints, people says prison officials decided Koberger was safe enough to stick it out in J Block for now. Koberger was sentenced last month to four consecutive life sentences after pleading guilty to the murders of Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. I'm sure I said all their names wrong, but yeah. Mm-mm. This
What
is
did
your
he think
fucking
was
ass
going to
kid.
happen? What did he think? Did he think it was going to be just regular old prison life for him?
He
I
thought he
don't
was
know.
gonna get that Martha Stewart treatment, honey, because he white and tall.
Hmm. Yeah.
Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
This treatment is pretty standard for folks who have been um, found guilty of assaults like that or killing minors or children. So this isn't surprising. Also, I have a sneaking suspicion that he'll have what was it? He'll have drawn on eyebrows by Christmas, the thin one.
Yeah. Yeah.
He killed those kids for no reason. That's just as egregious as you can get for no reason, other than he wanted to see if he could get away with murder or some bullshit. He thought he was the smartest one in the room and thought he could get away with it.
Yeah,
So
he's
I
not going.
no, I don't think there's any prison he's gonna go to that's not going to give him a hard time. I don't care where they move him. He's gonna run out of prisons trying to get transferred because he's gonna get this treatment. I don't care where he goes. He's gonna have to be in protective custody, and if they want to get at you, they will, just like they did Jeffrey Dahmer.
Mm-hmm.
And safe enough is code for we don't give a fuck. That's what that is. But that's called thing a thing. Like they, oh, he's safe enough. Like now, oh, let's look into it. Let's investigate. Make sure that he's safe. Oh, he's safe enough. Yeah, they don't
Yeah,
care.
we don't care.
Yeah.
We don't.
He better hope that karma don't come back for his ass and somebody go in his shit while he's sleeping, shank his ass, honey. Shank his ass to death while he sleep like he did those four people.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
Well, karma won't be coming for his ass, but big dog will.
He might
Well,
get
do that.
both.
Right, might get both, honey. I don't think they sell because I was gonna say, well, I was gonna suggest some Vaseline to, maybe make things a little easier, but I don't think they even give them Vaseline in jail just for that purpose because they might use it for that.
Well, no, no. And plus, you're not supposed to put Vaseline. I might know how I know this. Allegedly, you're not supposed to put Vaseline down there anyway because it's not good for the area.
Well, it's
Well,
not, but they don't have any lube access in prison other than spit, so it's either spit or Vaseline. Take your pick.
Or lotion. Allegedly.
Yeah, yeah. That lotion be burning.
Oh, Auntie,
So I've heard.
thank you.
I think the Vaseline isn't good if you're wearing a condom or something like that. It's not a good lubricant at
Yeah,
all. But especially if you're using condoms, it's not.
because
Mhm.
it'll wear away at the material of the condom. Is that correct?
It's
Yep.
very
Yeah.
abrasive. It's not as smooth as you think it is. Don't ask me how I know.
Or so you've heard.
Yeah,
No, she's a retired medical professional. She has seen things.
Yes.
yeah. I don't wish death on anyone, but I truly hope he doesn't enjoy one day in prison. He's going to be there for the rest of his life, and he is a young man. I don't want him to have a day of enjoyment, rest, peace, none of that. Because what he did was totally egregious.
Agreed.
And may Big
Wh-
Dog find him quickly and swiftly.
And then Big Dog, when you get out, honey, you call me.
Oh my
Y'all didn't hear that.
God.
Well, this next story, honey. So remember, I kept saying that Denise Richards and Aaron Fipers. Remember, I kept saying that divorce is going to get nasty, and it's already done started, and it continues. So let me get this another. I have another story from TMZ, and you all should see here. Denise Richards asks judge, please kick Aaron out of this damn house, honey. So Denise Richards has had it up to here with Aaron Vipers. She's asking the judge to give him and his family the boot from their house so she can get her pets and belongings. But Vipers Camp is calling BS on her latest legal move. The actress filed documents with the court this week asking the judge to order her estranged husband and his family to vacate for 8 hours the house the couple once shared so she can retrieve her dogs, clothing, and late mother's items. Denise says the landlord recently messaged her asking her to pay rent on the Calabasas, California property. But Denise says she stopped making payments in January after Aaron and his family refused to move out. She also says the landlord sent a message in July demanding they vacate the property in August. Denise says they went to gather her things before Aaron and company kicked out. Get before Aaron and company get kicked out, but she was worried about her stuff getting damaged. We told you about how Denise tried to go back to the Calabasas property to get her dogs earlier this month, with photogs snapping pics of her speaking to the police. She claims she entered the house when she knew Aaron wasn't home, and she says his parents even let her inside. However, she claims she was stopped from leaving by his parents and his brother. Sources close to Aaron tell TMZ Denise's later legal action is unsubstantiated bullying in order to divert attention away from her cheating with another man. They also say her false claims of being physically abused is a last minute lame attempt to dehumanize Aaron. Our sources say anyone who fears for their life and files a restraining order against someone would not show up to that person's house unexpectedly and unannounced, as Denise did mid July, as seen in this video newly obtained by TMZ. That video here. Aaron's camp also tells us Denise has never been threatened or abused by Vipers, who doesn't see any emergency reasons for the court to side with Denise in her current action. The sources add that Denise has kept all personal, business, and third-party equipment from Vipers, leaving him with only a shirt on his back for the last 50 days. This is just ghetto. Ghetto fabulous, honey. Ghetto.
And she paying the rent, and he done moved all his family. Were they living there before she before she moved out? Like that's crazy. That's the
Hmm.
hobo with them hobosexuals. She gonna wind up having to pay this dude alimony and all kind of bullshit. She was
Yep.
supporting him. That's ain't no way.
Yes, indeed. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
California is one of the worst states to go through an eviction because it takes forever. I'm if you remember that Drea, I believe her name was. She was on the Basketball Wives, and she was messing with the dude that was like 20 years her junior.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And I'm not sure if y'all remember this, but I guess he was trying to kick her out of his house,
Right.
but they had to go through the eviction process, and we still don't know if that it's concluded or was successful or not.
Yep.
I remember
And
that.
it,
Yeah.
and I remember you told us mentioned this also when we were talking about David Geffen and Donovan Michaels getting divorced and how like California makes it difficult. Well, I forget what exactly what you said, but you were telling us how California divorce in California was not like an easy thing. I forget exactly how you said it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like I believe the only this is top of mind. This could be verified as well, of course. But off the top of my mind, I think the only place, or one of the only places that have worst eviction situations than California is New York,
Oh
and
hell yeah.
it takes a long time. Even when the paperwork has been filed, it takes from one case I saw, it took a couple years for a person to literally get kicked out of the home after they've been a victim. Excuse me, evicted. Crazy.
Hmm. Yeah, they're very what's the tenant focused. So, well, does anybody want to add anything else before we get to our next piece of juicy white people news? And baby, when I say this next story is juicy, honey, so I'm sure we're all familiar with the Judds, right? Like Ashley Judd, Winona Judd, Naomi Judd, I'm sure. Well, Winona's daughter, honey, she's come out and she's talking about that stepdaddy. And woo, honey, she not saying anything good about his ass. So I have this story here from Entertainment Weekly, and let me get that for y'all here. And you should see where it says here, Winona Judd's daughter, Grace Kelly, says singer was never a mother, and ex stepfather molested her when she was 10. Girl. So Grace Kelly, the daughter of country icon Winona Judd, is speaking out about a troubling is that word epoch? I never used that word before. A troubling epoch in the Judd family history. In an interview with the Daily Progress on Wednesday, Kelly accused her former stepfather, D.R. Roach, of sexually abusing her when she was 10. Judd married Roach in 2003 and previously discussed filing for divorce in 2007 after learning he had been arrested and charged with sexual battery against a minor. The victim has never been identified, but Kelly told the outlet when they found out in counseling what he had done to me, they're like, wait a minute, we're going to report this to law enforcement. When he was arrested and it came out on the news, that's when she divorced him, Kelly continued. So is my mom rich? Yeah. She's so rich that she was able to sweep me under the rug and abuse me and then cover it all up. I don't want to talk bad about my mom, but we'll just say she's a good performer. She was never a mother. The Tennessee Sex Offender Registry identifies Roach as an offender against children and lists his date of offense as February 1st of 2007. Looking back on the ordeal, in 2010, Judd told Oprah Winfrey mm, that Roach was out of the house within the hour. She learned of his arrest. This story is so deep and wide. There's more to it I can tell you. Because of the child, I won't speak about it. It's their story to tell when they're ready to talk. And this is Dr. Roach right here with his nasty ass. Kelly and her brother Elijah are the products of Judge's marriage to her first husband, Art Kelly III. Um, Kelly has been forthcoming about her struggles, telling the Daily Progress between 12 and 17, I was in 14 different facilities. The daughter of the My Strongest Weakness singer and granddaughter of the Judd's co founder, Naomi Judd, was arrested twice last year, just months after completing an 8-year jail sentence for violating the terms of probation for her 2016 arrest for possession of meth. While her daughter was incarcerated, Judd began raising Kelly's daughter, Kalia, and continues to parent the 3-year-old. Kelly says she believes that now's my time, explaining that I never had a voice and I was iffy about talking all of this stuff, but no matter what is said about me, the Bible says the truth will set you free. So, hmm. Now I understand she probably didn't have much control over, after being arrested for possession of meth and having to serve 8 years and stuff, but you talking shit about the mama who is currently raising your 3-year-old. I don't know, child. It's epoch. Thank you so much, favorite tourist. That word's gonna kick my ass. But yeah, this shit was. I was reading this gagged, honey. Go ahead, favorite tourist.
Well, I think of it from a different perspective. Like, I'm pretty sure Grace wouldn't have engaged in the harmful situations she had hadn't she been assaulted in that way as a child. We well, from lived experience in being in close proximity with folks who have been abused and assaulted in that way, it is not uncommon for them to choose a a way of life that is on the quote unquote other side of the law. And so many of these people are still processing, and we don't know where they are in their healing journey. We don't, it never stops, if we're being honest, in their healing journey, enough to for them to kind of recalibrate and then operate in a way that is seen in a good light by society's terms, you know. So it kind of makes sense. It could, this could be Winona's way of appeasing any guilt that she may have towards the situation for not protecting her daughter from
Yeah.
her ex stepfather. And it go also goes to show that Winona's on her third marriage. So
Oh, oh, oh.
I mean, and it's not just because she's a woman. Just people in general got all these multiple fucking marriages. Like, at a certain point you got to look at yourself. Like, if shit's not working out, you have to look at how you may be showing up, who you may be attracting in those situations, as to why they turned out the way that they did. So just putting that out there, but it kind of makes sense as to why her daughter um, made the choices that she made based upon not feeling that she was protected as a child from by her mother.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Go ahead, Chili.
Um, when you have this kind of money and fame, because I ain't never heard of this dude, but we all know who Winona is, right?
Yep.
Wouldn't you think hiring a private detective or doing a background search on anybody that you're going to bring around a girl child, a child, period, because male children get assaulted too, and you have kids, and you're bringing this person around your children, wouldn't you do like your best to vet somebody? I mean, you have the means to do so. Are you so blinded? I, I don't know. Maybe I'm looking. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it from a really surgical viewpoint. Like, I just, I, mm.
No, I'm with you, Chill. Like, cause it's like stuff like this, like cause I don't want to like make it sound like I'm like putting his actions or blaming his actions on her on the woman. Cause no, I'm not. But it's a judge, somebody like a judge, right? You have the resources to fully vet somebody that you are bringing around your family and stuff like that. And then I feel like we've all been around we probably were accosted by predators in our lives and stuff like that. So it's these people don't like hide these things very well. You know what I mean? Like they say, especially when it comes to young girls, he probably said something like inappropriate about her clothing or something. I don't know. So I'm with you on that too. It's something. And
Well,
then for
yeah.
her to say that this was swept under the rug after we found it out in counseling, they swept it under. But once it hit the news, that's what she wanted to be like. Oh well, I'm getting a divorce. Mm,
I mean, and
yeah.
when they found out what he had done to her, then it's not like he changed his name. They looked him up, and he has a record. Like, just seemed like it would have been so easy to find out before you got with him and brought him around your daughter. But that's hindsight. Anyway,
Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
She was too busy focusing on getting her pussy vetted more than anything.
well, I don't want to go there, but I'm like, is this? Were you that desperate for peanuts that you didn't do your due diligence before you bring a man around your children? I just, mm-mm.
Three
And I say
marriages.
that because I've in my career I have witnessed so many children be hurt by boyfriends and sometimes girlfriends, and other people that you bring around your kids, and somebody you just met who needs a place to stay. Oh, you can move in with me. I gotta work, but you can stay here, and you can babysit. While I'm work, I could save some money, and they wind up killing one of these kids. I mean, I have seen that so much. It grinds my gears. I've seen it way too much. And then to have this kind of person who's able to do, the most in vetting a person to bring around her child is beyond my understanding.
You are absolutely right, Chill. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
It's giving very much the country western version of "Mommy Dearest." That is what I'm getting away from this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Which would make you do, and most of those kids turn to substance abuse to dull the
Yep.
pain. I mean, I'm not surprised she got into meth or whatever. A lot of people like that have, trauma in their lives. So yeah, it's terrible. But you look at people on stage and they have talent and they can sing and they have a lot of fans and everybody just loves them. But you don't even know what goes on behind closed doors. And this is why I say fandom is really weird. You got all these entertainers that you on the internet arguing about, and mine look better than yours, and all that bullshit. You don't know what the hell these people are doing behind closed doors.
Hmm. Yep. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
And there's a wise Jamaican saying that goes, and I quote, "Fish stink on the head, blood clot." So my thing is, think about it from like an even zoomed in perspective. Wino didn't get it from thin air; she got it from somewhere, and from the familial structure, and considering um, the legal and social issues that have occurred between her and her siblings, there's a potential common denominator that may need to be examined further.
And didn't
Mm-mm.
Naomi didn't Naomi commit suicide?
I I can't remember. Oh,
Yeah,
so we have a 100. Yep, it looks like she did.
yeah, the mother. Yeah, yeah. So that trauma goes way back. Maybe something is going on with Winona that she
Mm.
you know didn't do what I think she should have done. But there's a lot going on in that family, and apparently the generational trauma is just spreading. So
It was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Oof.
Mm-mm-mm. Well, did anybody want to add anything else about Winona or Grace Kelly before we go to the next another story about meth? We have a comment. They have secrets. Mm-mm. Well, child. Speaking of meth and secrets, honey, Jimmy Ward, and again, shout out to Chili for bringing this story to my attention.
I was
J-
busy.
Making sure we keep up with the hottest, latest tea, honey. I love it. So I have this ABC 13 Houston link, and let me get that here. And you all should see where it says, lawsuit says Texans Jimmy Ward assaulted woman while under the influence of meth with their child home. Child.
There's a lot going on
So
with
we
that
remember we
headline.
hello.
Well, also new tonight,
Oh,
allegations against Texan
sorry, did not mean to do that. So lawsuit alleges Ward sexually assaulted a woman and was believed to be high on meth, all while their 3-year-old son was inside her home. Instead of finding the football on defense, Texan safety Jimmy Ward now finds himself at the center of a civil lawsuit after being arrested twice in 2 months. According to a lawsuit filed in Harris County, Ward is being accused of both physically and sexually assaulting Christy West multiple times this year. It says West and the Texans defensive back were together for 4 years and share a 3-year-old son. Court records show Ward was arrested on June 12th for a domestic assault charge, which we talked about here. While investigators didn't provide specific details at the time, according to a lawsuit, he barged into West's home in Montgomery County and his behavior was described as erratic and aggressive. On that night, she suspected that he was under the influence of methamphetamines, specifically crystal meth, the lawsuit states. The same day, the lawsuit says Ward slapped and choked West, all while their son was asleep. In the lawsuit, West claims that Ward threatened to kill her and forced her to perform a sex act. In the lawsuit, she claims a drug fueled outburst came later. Ward jumped out of bed and began searching for her phone, accusing her of talking to other men, the lawsuit says. West says she grabbed her son, ran outside naked and injured, and called 911. Ward was eventually arrested and landed behind bars again after an incident earlier this month where he was accused of drinking and contacting her, which investigators say violated his bond agreement. Mm-mm. So Jimmy Ward is one of the party and playgirls, honey. Mm-mm. Mm.
NFL,
Y'all,
baby. NFL.
y'all better leave that meth alone, honey. Meth is not for black people. I'm saying it a little bit in jest, but I'm kind like I'm starting to notice that like it is because there used to be an understanding like with because you know especially millennial gays, you know it was like a whole I don't want to say epidemic, but party and play PNP was a huge thing among like gay culture, and meth and cocaine played a big part in that. But there was kind of an understanding that black gays that we was with we did the weed, honey. We didn't do the the coke and the meth like that. But I'm starting to see an uptick in black gays doing coke and an uptick of black gays doing meth. And I'm just like, wow, times have really changed since I was growing up. Cause
And meth is so destructive. It just really turns you into a totally different looking person. Knock your teeth out and your skin get all fucked up. I mean, coke doesn't do that. You still get addicted to it, but the way meth destroys your body, why?
baby, the way Coke had Artie Lane's nose looking, I will never
Well,
have
yeah, I mean, it can do that, but that's not a really um,
common
common,
thing.
yeah, common
Yeah,
occurrence. You can look at the progression of arrest records for meth heads, and they just get uglier and uglier every year. I mean, it really does change your appearance.
yeah. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
So Auntie, I'm inclined to agree with you on what your previous statement as well, considering all things considered. But it actually makes a lot of sense to me, and the reason why is because we have to also consider the environments that these people are choosing to operate in, and the peer pressure of it all, and it's never framed. How do I say this without telling my business? It's never framed as like a bad thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always framed as, oh, do you want to um, experience a higher feeling of euphoria? This will get you there. And then they're being giving it, not asking questions, and then they go down this very downward spiral unless you say no.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, these spaces are typically occupied by certain groups of people,
Yep.
and it starts from there. And so as we see the uh, how do I say this? Fuck it. As we see these, especially the black gays wanting the white gaze, GAZE. It's more
Mm-hmm.
if you align with their who they're attracted to or who they're associated to is attracted to. That's where it all stems from most of the time. See what I'm
You
saying?
better wake it up.
So some of us our sound minds like we're I'm good. But many aren't so lucky, and also to Auntie's point, weeks and weeks ago, some of these people just can't fucking read, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a through line going on. Like if you know what to look for, it is definitely there.
I just have to say, like, cause and I'm sure this is probably anecdotal with my experiences, but I just have to say that I am grateful that I was able to grow up in a community of black gays and stuff like. Cause I've never like I have been in white spaces and I partied with white people with white gays before, but I've never like felt the pressure to impress them, and like they could offer me anything, and I'd be like, you know what, no, thank you, I'm good on that, but you have fun though. And I wish that more black gays had the experience that I had, because I just find this to be really. I'm not approved by any means, believe me. But meth, y'all seen what, especially the top model. Remember what it did to JL and how it completely changed. Like I just don't even see why people won't even go down that road, honey. But hey, I'm just one person. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
No, you're absolutely right, Auntie. And many of us didn't have that experience. Especially me coming from, I live in California. What do you mean? Everybody's equal. Yeah. Do you know who my dad is? Like, that's very much how like the community was based. So we didn't have, many of us, most of us, didn't never had that nuanced experiences of identifying how to operate or navigate the world as a black gay man from other black queer folks, you know. So it definitely led you to a more sound and a holistic version of yourself, whereas
Mm,
many of us had to go on journeys and seek out what that actually was outside of what it was we were engaging with, not knowing that it was harmful to us, as a whole, you know. So no, but I definitely agree with you. Like once you have those safe spaces with folks that look like you and have the experiences that you don't yet have, but you can learn from, it is very life changing. Which is why having a healthy community in any capacity is so incredibly impactful. And the wrong people you get in community with, it's also impactful, but in negative ways.
hmm You better wake it up. Shout out to my bitches. I love y'all dearly. And then we have a comment. The younger folks are not scared of meth or cocaine and are jumping headfirst in it. Yes, girl. Yes, it's yeah.
And we
Well,
be scared of it.
they really do.
It's it started out as a like a cheap drug, because cocaine was the more expensive, and then they got meth, which is very cheap, but it's so destructive. Uh-uh. I I guess when you're an addict, you don't really care as long as you get the same feeling, meth, coke, whatever you want to use. But mm-mm.
I bet you if you asked them to smell meth or cocaine, they couldn't.
Well, how do you say? Is it MATA?
Yes, yes, very much that, Auntie. Good job.
Well, does anybody want to add anything else about meth or Jimmy Ward before we go to the next story? Child. So, well, our next story. Are y'all familiar with Jalen Brown? Y'all know I don't know sports, but
Isn't he a
um,
basketball
well,
player?
this story is actually not. Yes, uh-huh.
Okay.
Well, the story is actually not about Jalen. The story is actually about his father, honey. Girl, child, this story is wild. So I have this TMZ article here. Let me
Mm?
get that. And his dad was arrested for attempted murder, honey, outside of a parking lot, child. Oh, girl,
Over a park, but
girl.
was it over a parking space? This is just crazy. Oh,
I'm
phone
not.
boy
Ooh,
not found.
what's going on? Let me
Something.
let me.
A parking
Sorry,
spot.
give me
Here.
1 second.
Oh my God. Put it.
Yep,
Lock
over a
him up.
freaking parking spot, child.
Lock him up. Lock him up. Anybody that do stupid shit
Well,
like this, lock him up.
agreed. And the story that has chills so shocked, Jalen Brown's dad arrested for attempted murder after apparent parking lot dispute. So, Boston Celtics superstar Jalen Brown's dad, former boxer Marcellus Brown, was arrested for attempted murder after allegedly stabbing a youth football coach in a parking lot dispute, TMZ Sports has learned. Las Vegas Metro Police is investigating a stabbing that went down at All American Park on Wednesday, stating two men were in a verbal altercation over a parking space when the suspect stabbed the victim multiple times in the stomach.
Mm-mm.
A
Mm-mm.
former boxer feeling like he got to stab somebody. That's crazy. But anyway, According to the arrest report we obtained, the alleged victim's girlfriend actually told cops it was over Brown dinging their vehicle with the door of a Lincoln Navigator as he got out of the passenger side. The woman stated the coach identified as Cross Tupuola then got out his car to check out the damage, but Brown brushed it off and said it was simply a bump before calling him a bitch ass and starting to walk away. After the back and forth, the woman claims the two agreed to duke it out, but when Tupuola's back was turned, Brown pulled an object from his right side and swung his arm in a stabbing motion, striking the coach in his back. The woman states Brown, who's 7 foot tall and 300 pounds, used his left hand to grab Tupuola's right shoulder and stabbed him several times in the abdomen. She says the coach initially tried to fight back before attempting to run away, and Brown chased after him. Eventually, the woman said Tupuola, who's 5'9" and 160 pounds, got in the car and they drove off to call 911. According to the report, he suffered stab wounds in the upper right chest clavicle area, a defensive wound on his left hand that penetrated his tendons, a slice wound that necessitated his I'm sorry, that necessitated a partial gastrectomy to remove part of his digestive system. Oh my God. Eviscerated bowels and broke a right rib that may require surgery to repair.
Yeah, he tried to kill him.
He tried to kill him. Yep. He's in critical condition and in the ICU. When cops caught up with Brown, they observed abrasions on his knees and his face was bleeding, and spontaneously stated the whole ordeal sparked over a door ding. Brown also received treatment at the hospital for a broken toe, scrapped knees, and an abrasion on his right cheek. Officials also spoke with several witnesses who claimed they saw the whole thing, and one even graphically claimed he would see the victim's insides hanging out when he lifted the front of his shirt. My God. Several witnesses also state Brown did not act in self defense and struck Tupuola first. According to the report, the weapon used in the incident was not recovered. Marcellus, who made his boxing debut in 1989, had a 33-18-1 record. I don't know what that means, with 25 knockouts in the ring, and his last fight was nearly a decade ago. His sources tell us Jalen doesn't have a close relationship with his father and was unaware of the arrest or incident. Jalen, who's 28, is one of the best players in the NBA and won a championship with the Celtics in 2024. In 2016, Marcellus opened up about his kids, saying, I'm extremely proud of both my sons. I'm especially proud of Jalen. He's an extraordinary athlete and very smart,
Now
like
you
Chill
7
said.
feet tall, 300 pounds, fight, fighting, stabbing a man who's 5'9", 160. Like you couldn't just fight this man with your fist. You had to pull a knife and literally try to kill this man and chase him after you lock him up, lock him up.
Lock his ass up. And we have a comment, great value, George Foreman looking ass. Yes, very that. Chill, you see that
Mhm.
asymmetry?
Yes, evil motherfucker. Yeah, he tried to take that man's life, and it wasn't even necessary. He could have beat him just with his size alone, and no way,
And
no
those
way.
graphic details. So that's probably why TMZ was trying to block us at first. Be like, look, you sure you want to read this shit? Because this story is very graphic.
Well, that's probably why they charged him with attempted murder. He tried to kill that man.
hmm Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
I remember vividly when Quinn has joined these live sessions, a comment that she would often say is, "Where is your uncle? Where are the uncles?" Well,
Or my
well,
favorite, you are a grown ass man.
yeah. It just goes to show like that's not enough, you know. Like many of
Yep.
these young black folks in sports, they just don't have the support regardless of where it comes from. So Quinn, if you're listening or watching, there's a daddy and they still at Elrond and you see it, he ain't shit. So we got to go to the drawing board and find something else out, child, because the uncles ain't helping, the daddies ain't helping either.
That's
hmm
crazy. Over a ding on a door.
Child.
If I mean, first of all, Mr. Tupuolo, maybe he didn't see how big. He had to see how big this dude was when he's getting out of the car and to you know, go look. I mean, I guess he would look for the damage, but sound like once he did that, that angered this fool, and really there was no getting out of the confrontation. He wanted to fight.
Hmm.
Yeah, he going to prison.
Toodles.
Yep, he
Bitch.
going to prison.
Calling him a bitch ass when you the damn bitch ass 7 foot 300 pound motherfucker who felt like he had to stab a 5'9", 160 pound man. Like, are you literally could have just mushed his ass out the way, honey. Like,
Right, right. Just mushed him in the face, pushed him down, anything. No, you tried to take his life. No telling what was going on with him that day, but something was going on for him to unleash that kind of rage on a person that size, knowing, and he's a former boxer too. Oh yeah,
hmm.
something was going on with him. I don't know if he was drugged up or what the fuck was happening with him, but you going to prison. Whatever was happening, you have just signed yourself up for prison.
And I'm sorry, there's a comment in this chat. Oh my God, it says that's DL rage. Oh my God. But you know what? You ain't lying though, honey. That's why I say all the time, be careful with these DL men because they will kill you. Not
Right.
saying this guy's DL whatsoever, but I'm just saying,
It it,
some
re- it
actions.
resembles it resembles us, sisters.
Uh,
Yes.
Johnny had four apples. You know.
4 apples and a dildo, honey.
Mm,
Oh well, then maybe he won't mind going then,
Ow.
but that's where he's going for a long time.
Well, speaking of another boxing star, and I have 3 more stories left, by the way. I told you we had a lot of tea to talk about. But this next story, so Devin Haney. Now y'all know I don't know sports, but I asked my brother, is he familiar with this person? And he was very much familiar with Devin Haney, but he's a boxer,
Hmm.
and he's actually suing his child's mother for extortion. And this story is wild. So y'all see, I have this TMZ article here. Let me get that for y'all here, and let me share my screen. And you all should see where it says here, boxing star Devin Haney sues daughter's mom for extortion. So for first, I'm going to read the story and then I'm going to read the update. So the story starts off by saying Devin Haney is suing the mother of his months-old daughter, alleging she extorted and defamed him. TMZ Sports has learned. Court records obtained show the star boxer filed the lawsuit against Lena Syed in Los Angeles on Wednesday, just less than 2 months after she obtained a temporary domestic violence restraining order against him. Uh, in the suit, Haney claims that in an effort to get more money from him, Syed threaten not only reputational ruin but also loss of rights to visit his daughter. He claims Syed has repeatedly published false and defamatory statements about him too, while calling her actions extreme and outrageous. He's additionally suing for intentional infliction of emotional distress and is asking for unspecified damages. Devin Haney has lived his life and built his career with integrity, discipline, and respect, Haney's attorney Bobby Samini told us Wednesday. He has worked tirelessly to achieve success through dedication, not shortcuts, and he remains committed to conducting himself with honesty and principle inside and outside the ring. Devin will not be extorted, intimidated, or coerced by anyone. He will defend his name and his values against any false narratives or malicious attempts to undermine his character. Devin Haney stands firm in the truth. The suit comes some 8 weeks after Syed allegedly in her. I'm sorry. The suit comes some 8 weeks after Syed alleged in her application for her temporary restraining order against Haney that he abused her on multiple occasions throughout the past year and a half. She claimed one of the worst instances happened in December 2024 when she says he pushed me while I was 9 months pregnant, caused me to fall on my tailbone because I would not give him my cell phone. Haney didn't specifically address that allegation in his suit, though his attorneys did write Syed has fabricated claims of physical abuse. The two met around 2 years ago, and Syed gave birth to their daughter, Chrome, in January. They are both due for a hearing in the restraining order case in Los Angeles early next month. And then there was an update from her lawyer that reads Lena Syed's attorney, Mark Vincent Kaplan, said in a statement to TMZ Sports on Wednesday his client is not extorting Devin Haney. She's only seeking to get what the law requires Mr. Haney to pay for child support, the lawyer said. He added, while he made claims, he defamed. I'm sorry, while he made claims he's defamed by the truthful allegations she's provided in her statements within litigation, he should be aware that in the law of defamation, truth is a defense. I think Mr. Haney would be best served to make his case to the family court and not the court of social media. Mm-mm. So messy, 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 honey. Look, we have a comment: white women. Well, her name is her last name is Syed, so I think she might be spicy white, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, all of the same ilk. You know, brought down by someone looking to have a baby, and it. Ugh. But you put yourself in that trap and you got caught
Yep, very true.
because a payday. That child support go crazy when you got money. You ain't got to work. Get you a house and a Range Rover. Your child go to private school. If athletes haven't learned nothing by now, oh well.
No, well. Well, does anybody want to add anything about Oh, go ahead, favorite Taurus.
And that's if he's even healthy enough to fulfill his contract. But that's also something to consider as well. These athletes, they don't look past, or be many of them, excuse me, I don't want to generalize, don't look past the current state of things. Like they may be on top of the world and healthy as can be and performing at a top level as an athlete, but that could all go away in seconds, especially if you're a football player. Because we've seen in so many instances of these players, their careers are ended with one bad move, especially how physical football is. Not to mention
Hmm.
the the impact of continuous concussions and all of that. So, I mean, she'll be living the high life if he remains healthy and if he utilizes his resources effectively and responsibly for whatever that means for him. But it's not always guaranteed. So, whenever I hear these stories about people, about football players and these women, I'm like, oh, all right now.
Look at Cam Newton
Yeah.
saying he hates that he can't provide for all those children he had by them different baby mamas because he's not pulling in the millions anymore. You know.
And he's hosting a podcast with the hat with the top cut out and
Hmm.
the sock show, and that's what he's doing.
I
Yep.
want him to give Erica Badu her clothes back.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The gravy train can't stop. You're right about that. Now you got all these kids to support.
Hmm. Well, does anybody want to add anything about the gravy train or supporting kids or violent football players before we go to the next story?
That DL
Story,
rage is something else.
Uh, well, yes.
story old as time. Keeps happening over
Mhm.
and over and over.
So now our next story, just out of curiosity, and I hate that Beezus isn't here at the moment because I feel like this is somebody that he would know. But if I say the name Michael Franti, or if I say like Spearhead or Disposable Heroes of Hypocrisy, do y'all know who that person is?
Who?
Well, Michael, he's like the lead singer of a band apparently that's really famous out in the West Coast. Because he was
Mm-hmm.
actually just currently on tour. And I think one of his last shows is going to be in the Bay Area.
Don't know him.
Oh, y'all, well, we about to know his nasty ass today, honey. Cause woo, child,
That sounds
this
actually very familiar.
okay.
Yeah.
So maybe if you were to see his face, when we would talk about him, you might be like, oh, him. Okay,
Does he have locks?
he does. Yep.
Yeah, him.
Well, baby, I have this story from the San Francisco Chronicle. And let me get that here.
Another story old as time. I'm so.
Another story all the time, honey.
Oh. Mm, mm, mm.
But you see where it says here, Michael Franti cancels tour as more sexual misconduct allegations surface. Oh, okay, sorry, the page got frozen for a moment. Okay, so Michael Franti has canceled his upcoming tour, including a scheduled Bay Area concert, as accusations of sexual misconduct continue to build against the musician. This is one of the hardest messages I've ever had to write, Francie posted on social media Wednesday, August 20th. Recent events online have left me disheartened, and my spirit isn't in the place it needs to be to get on stage and give you the joy and energy you deserve. The Oakland-born frontman for Spearhead and the Disposable Heroes of Hypocrisy added, "The remaining dates on the Welcome to the Family tour will be canceled. I'm devastated to disappoint you, but I hope you understand that I need this pause to be with my family." A concert was originally scheduled for Tuesday, August 26th at Saratoga's Mountain Winery. Promoter AXS said tickets will be refunded automatically. The tour cancellation comes less than a week after Spanish American singer Victoria Canal alleged in an Instagram post that she was groomed and abused by a very powerful older musician when she was 19. Canal did not name Francie in her August 11th post, but she previously credited him with discovering her in 2018 and inviting her on tour. Later that same day, Francie, a frequent face at Bay Area festivals such as Stern Grove and Bottle Rock Napa Valley, took to his Instagram account to acknowledge a romantic relationship with an unnamed artist outside his marriage but denied any abuse. The relationship was completely consensual, based on mutual feelings and attraction, he wrote. Canal described the man as controlling and abusive in private. She alleged that he photographed her without consent and isolated her from others, saying the experience plagued my body, spirit, and mind throughout her 20s. A few days later, Canal shared similar allegations sent to her by Carla Swanson, who co founded Soul Shine Yoga Resort Hotel in Bali with Francie in 2011, and Wyoming musician Makina Kylie. Another voice joined the controversy on Wednesday. Writer Minda Lane published a lengthy Substack post recounting her experience with Francie between 2008 and 2017. She described herself as a longtime fan and admitted she initially welcomed his attention but later came to see a troubling pattern of behavior. She claimed that Francie was stripped naked in front of her shortly after they met, later pushed her into sexualized exchanges over webcam, and alternated between affectionate and dismissive treatment that left her confused and seeking his approval. Lane also recalled instances that described her public misconduct. I'm sorry, she described as public misconduct, including what she said was an appearance at a festival in jeans with a hole in the crotch and no underwear. I didn't think of it as being groomed, Lane wrote. Instead, I thought a dream was coming true. I thought I had manifested the experience through the sheer ardor and conviction I cared for his music and his causes. What I realize now is that he probably never meant the sweet or complimentary things he said to me, she continued. He only said what he needed to keep me in thrall so I would remain available when he wanted to use me. Francie, who's 59, parted ways with his longtime management company, Activist Artist Management, shortly after the allegation surfaced. His Soul Shine at Sea concert cruise was also canceled early this month after multiple artists withdrew. So, let's say correction. The headline to this story has been updated to better characterize new allegations. Okay,
And
so
he's married. Oh, whatever.
mhm.
Whew. This artist, this musician artist fandom, y'all be taking it too far. This is how they use people.
Yep.
You admire, you admire them so much, their talent. Oh, he said sweet nothings to me. This man got a whole wife. Come on now. Oh,
Yep. Well, I say the only celebrity who will put me in that position, and I'm saying this in public, is Wayne Brady. I don't care who Wayne Brady is married to. So, but you know what? Wayne Brady is an upstanding gentleman, so we won't hear any stories of rape and well, excuse me, I should say I hope we don't hear any stories about any rape or sexual coercion and stuff like that when it comes to Wayne. But that's the only celebrity that I have because I don't get it. I really, but then again, I'm also not a young girl, so there's that.
well, you would be willingly doing this. These women, I, I don't know how you can be enthralled by someone and let them do these things to you and then claim it's sexual misconduct. And I'm always going to tend to believe the women, but did he physically take it? Did he rape you? Did he, or he just used you for sex? She was 19. She wasn't underage. I mean, this story kind of sounds like, they maybe were just enthralled by who he was and let him do what he wanted. Did he? What did he do that makes it sexual misconduct? Because he was married? I mean, I didn't see anything in the story that really spoke of like an abuse type situation.
Yeah, maybe narcissistic abuse, but like not physical
Well,
abuse.
yeah,
Like, yeah, yeah, I'm
like
kind of with you on that one because I was kind of waiting for, but maybe I missed something. I don't know. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
It might be something that hasn't come out yet. You
maybe
know,
Yeah.
so.
there's also this folks are impressionable, especially when you are so connected with someone's art, and it's of course it speaks over more like a positive mentality, and that feeds into how they are perceived by the general population. And then when these people get in contact, they're still operating with that perspective in their minds, and it's hard for them to see outside of the version of them that they've already created in their minds. So I'm still very much inclined to believe the accuser in her totality in what she's stating at this point, because 19-year-olds are impressionable, extremely impressionable, doing some dumb shit. They just got out of high school, if they even got out of high school, not even a year ago, with no life experience whatsoever. So
Yeah,
it's not lost on me how he could have seen that and then taken full advantage, knowing that she was none the wiser.
but she wasn't a minor. What he did wasn't illegal. It's definitely maybe immoral and
Hmm.
very not cool on his part. He's a serial adulterer, and I can see why, maybe his shows would be canceled and his management company would drop him because, he sounds like not a good person. But as far as something illegal, which I guess there's no lawsuit here. This is just talking about his conduct. Really, he hasn't been
Hmm.
arrested or anything. He's just canceling shows. So, but yeah, he's a pig.
Pig. We need to bring that back. I used to love like when you see like white girls call a man a pig and then just like
You're a
walk off.
pig. Yeah, you're a pig.
We need to bring that back.
Mm.
Well, does anybody want to add anything else before we go to our last story? All right. Well, our last story, I have this link here from Hot New Hip Hop that talks about this Aries King. I'm sorry, give me one second. He's talking about Tupac and Lucy Liu, and I just thought this story was fun. So let me get the link here. So you all should see here where it says Aries King Bokeem Woodbine recalls Tupac unsuccessfully shooting his shot at Lucy Liu. And remember, I even said yesterday, I love like when the legends come out and they start talking about their stories and their experience and stuff, especially like stories like this where it's not messy and it's all in fun. But during a recent interview with The Art of Dialogue, Bokeem Woodbine recalled working alongside Tupac and Lucy Liu in their 1997 film Gridlock. According to him, the late rapper had his sights on the actress at the time. He said that she practiced with eskrima sticks, um, with which Tupac ran into her doing once. I just remember one day on set, Pac coming to knock on my trailer. He was like, yo man, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just chilling. He was like, yeah man, I just came back from Lucy's room and I'm trying to spit game. Woodbine claimed that Lou didn't pick up on the fact that Tupac was interested and was simply trying to show him the excrement sticks. He was like, okay, well, maybe if I feign some interest and act like I'm interested in what she's trying to talk to me about, it'll get me closer to sealing the deal, he recalled. Sadly, it doesn't look like this worked out for Tupac. So I'm just cracking up. Woodbine explained, and I said, how'd it work? Did it work? He's like, no, it didn't work. And I said, don't worry about it, man. You know, you can't win them all. As for why Lou didn't pick up on Tupac's flirtation, Woodbine said it's possible she wasn't just vibing with him, or maybe it just went over her head, like she didn't know what he was talking about. He also suggested, but he was telling me like, yeah, I'm trying to get to know her, and the only thing she wants to talk to me about is waving these sticks around. Back in 2023, Lou reflected on her own time working alongside Tupac during an interview with the Sydney Morning Herald. It's so strange to think that he's gone now, she said, also describing him as nice and saying they had a great time together. She ain't want that nigga. Honey, Tupac, what we know about Tupac, he ain't have no trouble getting no women at all. So Lucy Lou was definitely not interested in him, honey. So, at all. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
And to be fair, he still got one woman hung up on him even after his death.
Wake that up.
Hmm.
Honey,
Who
writing
would
books
that be?
about him and everything, child.
Hmm.
Who?
Jada,
Oh.
Will
Hmm.
Smith's wife.
Hmm.
Okay.
Man, she how she act with him is the same way that Drake be acting about Aaliyah, honey. Like well, no, I can't even say that because at least Jada and Tupac had like a friendship slash relationship allegedly, but Drake didn't know Aaliyah from a can of paint, honey. He was obsessed with her. So it's a little weird. I ain't gonna lie. But I hate that they ain't put no pictures of Bokeem Woodbine up in this article. But yeah, this is the interview. It's about 7 minutes long, but I haven't watched it yet. But shout out to the Aries King. He's actually one of my favorite actors.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was all the tea that I had for us today. So before we head out and before I go watch the rest of my stories, did any of you have any tea that you want to share? Any tea that I might have missed? Oh, yes. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
I have one to share today. So, the legend, the iconic Serena Williams, right? So we've been seeing for months. Like she's lost weight, she's been in the gym, uh, and it's like a dramatic weight loss that we now know why.
Yep. I
She
saw
is
that.
the spokesperson for a weight loss medication.
Yep. The GLP-1 meds she used.
Yeah.
But she confirmed what I said before after she had her baby when she was playing and her performance had degraded. She was too heavy, and she talked about how hard she tried. She tried so hard to lose weight, and it wouldn't come off because her coaches kept telling her lose weight, but she couldn't do it. And this is how she did it. But that wasn't around, when she was having problems. But I think that really affected her performance and why she could never progress like she wanted to after her first child.
Even after she still got the Grand Slam finals, she just couldn't get over that last final hurdle.
Nope. She
So,
tried.
I mean, my thing is, if we didn't know what we know now, right? And all of the information, the class actions of it all regarding these types of medications, I would think this, oh my God, this is amazing. Serena's getting the bag, da 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 da. And of course, she's a hyper wealthy public figure slash former athlete, and I'm sure she has um, all of the necessary support in the world when it comes to managing her
Right.
usage of the medication. Just but however, from like a outward perspective, I'm like, damn, Serena, really?
Well, I mean, there's good and bad on these medications. A lot of doctors really like them because they do help people lose weight. Um, they have good benefits in preventing uh, diabetes and heart disease, people who are at risk for these things. But there are some side effects that are coming out that can be, kind of devastating. And the fact that you can get these things online, and I, I, I think, like you said, she has good management and the ability, you know, to have the medical support and to be taken care of that way. And that's kind of, I think, the downside to it is making sure these people are seeing doctors not just online, but following up in person and getting labs done and making sure that you're not having any devastating side effects, because you can have really bad side effects. But for the most part, they seem to be helpful, and a lot of doctors are liking the drug. But yeah, there are some downsides to it. It's not for everyone, and some people do have really bad side effects. So just make sure that you're under medical supervision. I would be really hesitant to take take it from these online. I see these ads so much now, you know, that you can order this stuff, and you supposedly you talk to a real professional, healthcare professional, and all of this. But I just would rather have that personal relationship in person and not online.
And it's good that you said that, Joe, because she's a spokesperson, excuse me, for Roe, which is like a online medical assistant
Yeah.
application. So,
Hmm.
and I really wish you would have spoken to, because she had a history, or still has a history. I don't know how you want to say it, of health issues. She had pulmonary embolisms in both of her lungs. She had half her lung taken out. She had
Yep.
issues with blood clots. She almost died during childbirth. Like so many different um, health issues that she's encountered even while she was playing. And I
Yep.
really wish that was something that was spoken about, considering everything that she went through was so public, and would have shined more positive light on the situation, considering her past issues, health related issues. It just, I see what you're saying, Jill. I'm looking at it again from an outside perspective with everything that's going on and the side effects of it all, and I'm like, uh, all right, good for you, I guess.
I mean, they could send you to a lab to get labs and report to them and so forth, to make sure, your liver's functioning, your kidneys functioning. But when it comes to seeing you in person and examining you and perhaps ordering more advanced testing, scans, checking for clots, and when you have problems with the vomiting and you can't eat, and I think it's kind of hard to manage that as a telehealth situation as opposed to going to see a real doctor and having access to that kind of care. I just wonder, like, I don't know anybody personally that's getting it through the mail like that, but I think, it's, I personally wouldn't do it that way if I wanted to get on it, but, and I don't know how the insurance handles that. Do they pay for it better when it's that way as opposed to asking in person? It's just, it's expensive, like, because the insurance doesn't cover a lot of this if it's not for, a for sure diabetic, type 2 situation. There's just a lot to say that the drugs have exploded so much in popularity the way they have, and how you can get that stuff online. I just think it's a little dangerous that way, but
I agree with you, and you people are very brave. I must say that, honey. I'm not taking anything that I got to stick myself. I don't give a damn how small that needle is. I'm not sticking myself with nothing. I'm too much of a wimp for that. But I guess the other side of this, because remember how a lot of times, people were it was hard for the diabetics to get Ozempic because a lot of people was getting it for weight loss purposes. So
right.
now I'm glad that they have this so they can leave the Ozempic alone. I guess that's maybe that's what. But I'm with Will, like, girl, with all the information we have out here, like, okay, congratulations, I guess.
Yeah, but I
But
feel she's probably going to the doctor in person too. I mean, she's wealthy enough to do that. I just hate that it's an online service that she's a rep for now.
yeah, that's the thing. And plus she's also, again, she's super wealthy. She's in a tax bracket beyond the majority of people, and so I'm sure she's not doing it for shits and giggles. She's getting a hefty check for it as well. So it's just very, very layered, and it was a little disappointing considering it's coming from someone of her magnitude and her stature. So
But I'm glad
Yep.
she's lost weight. She feels great. Good for her. But she's definitely being managed. I'm sure she was being managed before that because of her health problems. She has doctors and whatever, and she can, go see them and know that she's on this drug. But yeah, you're right. I just wish it wasn't an online thing.
yeah, it's really not about her; it's about everybody else.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
And this comment pretty much agrees with y'all. Said I would imagine she is working in tandem with her primary doctor, but regular folks may not have that foresight.
Right?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yes,
You're
indeed.
not buying a pair of fucking Jordans here.
Right.
But yeah, sorry, go on a tangent. That's the only story I have for today.
Oh, and I meant to update y'all about that girl we talked about yesterday, the Christian girl, autumn influencer who said she was crying on camera.
Yeah.
Uh, well, it turns out that was all a joke. A bad one, girl. Don't play with us. Like, don't play like that, girl.
So
Bad like her
stupid.
wigs.
So stupid. Just stupid.
Well,
Oh.
thank you for that, favorite Taurus. Did anybody have any other tea that they want to share that I might have missed? I say bad like that wig. Oh, well, y'all, it is always a pleasure. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come and sip tea with me. We will be back tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time if you all can make the live show. Hit us up on our email at auntie@auntiederek.com. Until then, I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your day.
Bye, everybody.